There are many intelligence agencies in the world, but few are as controversial as Israel's Mossad. The sabotage of Iran's nuclear program, the theft of a Soviet MiG-21 fighter jet, or the mysterious disappearance of a German scientist from Egypt's missile program. These are just some of the secret operations that changed the world forever. In 1948, just one day after the British Army withdrew from Palestine and the independent Jewish state of Israel was declared, the First Arab-Israeli War broke out. After the war, Jordan occupied the West Bank and East Jerusalem. Egypt took control of the Gaza Strip, and Israel secured 78% of the territory, including land originally meant for the Arab state under the United Nations plan. At that moment, Israeli Prime Minister David Ben-Gurion realized that the key to the country's survival would lie in its intelligence services. Israel has 3 intelligence agencies: Amman, responsible for military intelligence; Shin Bet, focused on internal security; and Mossad, conducting espionage and covert operations abroad. Only people with exceptional intelligence and the rare ability to completely assume another identity can join Mossad. It's said that only 1 in 1,000 applicants successfully passes the selection process. However, David Ben-Gurion never officially admitted that the intelligence services even existed. Everything remained secret until the case of Adolf Eichmann, who was hiding in Argentina under a false name. Mossad tracked him down and secretly brought him to Israel, where he received the harshest possible sentence. This operation sent a clear message to the world. Israel's intelligence agencies could strike anywhere. In 1962, Egyptian President Gamal Abdel Nasser announced that his missiles could reach Israel. Egypt's missile program relied heavily on former German scientists, including Heinz Krug, who was responsible for logistics. After returning to Munich, Krug was kidnapped by Mossad and taken to Israel, and was never seen again. The move served as a warning to other German scientists working for Egypt. Later, Mossad struck a deal with former German officer Otto Skorzeny, offering him protection in exchange for his cooperation. He helped persuade the remaining German scientists to leave Egypt, effectively halting the missile program. Arab states received a shipment of Soviet MiG-21 fighter jets, which alarmed Israel. Mossad convinced Munir Redfa, a Christian pilot in the Iraqi Air Force who faced discrimination, to defect in exchange for money and protection. This mission, known as Operation Diamond, delivered a MiG-21 into Western hands. Before the Six-Day War in 1967, Mossad closely monitored enemy mobilization. In response, Israel launched a preemptive strike, leading to a devastating defeat for the Arab coalition. Egypt lost control of Gaza and the Sinai Peninsula. Jordan lost East Jerusalem and the West Bank, and Syria lost the Golan Heights. Anger across the Arab world led to the rise of militant groups such as Fatah, which later became the dominant faction within the Palestine Liberation Organization. Fatah's founder, Yasser Arafat, vowed to wipe Israel off the map. Mossad made several attempts to capture Arafat, but he managed to evade capture by hiding in neighboring Arab countries, and eventually became the leader of the Palestine Liberation Organization. In 1972, during the Summer Olympics in Munich, 8 members of Black September, a Fatah offshoot, broke into the Olympic Village and took 11 Israeli athletes hostage, demanding the release of more than 200 prisoners held in Israeli jails. Israeli Prime Minister Golda Meir refused to meet their demands and instead offered to send Israel's own rescue forces to assist Germany. The Germans declined and conducted their own rescue attempt at Fürstenfeldbruck Air Base. The operation failed, and none of the Israeli hostages survived. In response, Mossad swore to find everyone involved in the act. They carried out retaliatory operations across Italy, France, Lebanon, Greece, and Cyprus. However, not every mission went as planned. In Norway, Mossad agents mistakenly shot a Moroccan waiter, wrongly believing him to be Ali Hassan Salameh. one of the masterminds behind the Munich incident. Mossad also made a mistake when Egypt's new president, Anwar Sadat, publicly declared his intent to reclaim the Sinai Peninsula. An informant for Mossad, Ashraf Marwan, who was married to the daughter of former Egyptian president, did not warn Israel of the impending threat. Although Israel had observed troop movements by Egypt in Syria along the borders in the fall of 1973, they trusted that Marwan would notify them if an attack were imminent. When Marwan eventually sent a warning on Yom Kippur, the holiest day in Judaism, Mossad was skeptical, which led to enormous losses during the Yom Kippur War. After the war, Egypt sought to improve relations with the United States, Israel's key ally, by pursuing peace negotiations. Anwar Sadat became the first Arab leader to visit Israel, a historic gesture that eventually led to the Camp David Accords and the signing of a peace treaty. Israel agreed to withdraw from the Sinai Peninsula, while Egypt officially recognized the State of Israel, becoming the first Arab country to do so. This groundbreaking peace deal shocked the Arab world, resulting in Egypt's suspension from the Arab League and ultimately leading to the assassination of Anwar Sadat. The regional landscape changed dramatically with the Iranian Revolution, which completely reshaped the political map of the Middle East. Since the 1950s, when Iran was ruled by Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, the country had maintained a secret alliance with Israel. Iran supplied Israel with oil, while Mossad provided assistance in internal security and intelligence training. But in 1978, massive protests led by the Islamic cleric Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini eventually escalated into a revolution. The Shah fled into exile, and Khomeini quickly consolidated his power. He introduced a new constitution and became Iran's first supreme leader, marking the beginning of an era of theocratic rule. The nation that had once been a key ally of Israel had now become its greatest enemy. Iran declared the destruction of Israel as one of its main objectives, a stance welcomed by the Palestine Liberation Organization. After being expelled from Jordan, the Palestine Liberation Organization relocated to southern Lebanon. Mossad sought to destroy it, which required a pretext for invasion that came in the form of the attempted assassination of the Israeli ambassador in the United Kingdom, even though the attack wasn't carried out by the Palestine Liberation Organization. In 1982, Israel invaded Lebanon with the goal of establishing a pro-Israeli government and dismantling the Palestine Liberation Organization, which eventually withdrew after 2 months. The Christian militia leader Bachir Gemayel was elected president, but only a few months later he was assassinated, plunging Lebanon into chaos once again. Another mission of Mossad was to protect Jewish lives wherever they were in danger. In the early 1980s, tens of thousands of Ethiopian Jews faced violence and famine. Many fled to refugee camps in neighboring Sudan. Mossad was tasked with bringing them safely to Israel, but the operation had to remain top secret because Sudan's president, Ghaffar Nimeri, publicly opposed Israel for political reasons. Mossad agents therefore posed as employees of European and American companies and established a fake diving resort on the Sudanese coast. Through this front operation, they secretly transported refugees across the Red Sea to Israel by boat at night. When sea transfers became too risky, Mossad began organizing covert airlifts instead. By the late 1980s, anger erupted in the Israeli-occupied Gaza Strip, sparking the First Intifada, a mass Palestinian uprising that lasted 6 years and eventually ended on neutral ground in Oslo. Israel agreed to withdraw its forces from Gaza and parts of the West Bank, transferring control to the Palestinian Authority. The peace agreement was signed in Washington, and both the Israeli Prime Minister and Yasser Arafat were awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. But Arafat no longer represented all Palestinians, and the Palestine Liberation Organization struggled to maintain peace as a new force began to rise, Hamas. Founded by Ahmed Yassin during the First Intifada, Israel expected the Palestine Liberation Organization to restrain Hamas, But its slow response allowed the group to grow stronger and launch waves of attacks on Israeli cities. In 1996, Benjamin Netanyahu became Israel's prime minister and adopted a hardline approach. He ordered Mossad to target Hamas leaders directly. The first target was Khalid Mashal, head of Hamas's political bureau, who was to be assassinated in Jordan using poison in broad daylight, a method chosen to make it appear natural and preserve diplomatic relations with Jordan. However, the two Mossad agents involved, disguised as Canadian tourists, were quickly caught. To defuse the crisis, Israel provided the antidote that saved Mashal's life. Iran grew frustrated after being excluded from Middle Eastern peace negotiations, leading to a sharp rise in its support for Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad. At the same time, Iran worked to strengthen ties among Israel's enemies. It actively backed Bashar al-Assad's regime in Syria and the Shiite militia Hezbollah in Lebanon, providing them with weapons, money, and fighters. In 2002, the new Mossad chief, Meir Dagan, declared Iran to be Israel's primary enemy. Under his leadership, Mossad focused heavily on countering Iran's nuclear ambitions. Iran claimed that its nuclear program was purely for civilian purposes, but Mossad analysts feared the country could develop nuclear weapons within a few years. Israel, being the only country in the Middle East to possess nuclear weapons, sought to maintain this strategic advantage. To do so, it attempted to disrupt Iran's nuclear program using a computer virus. In a secret operation carried out by Mossad in cooperation with the CIA, the Stuxnet worm was introduced into the systems of Iran's nuclear facility in Natanz. The worm caused critical centrifuge malfunctions, severely disrupting Iran's uranium enrichment process. In 2015, Iran signed a deal with 6 world powers to limit its nuclear activities in exchange for lifting economic sanctions. But in 2018, Mossad obtained documents allegedly proving that Iran had continued its secret nuclear work. This revelation prompted US President Donald Trump to withdraw from the agreement and reinstate sanctions. This was just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Mossad's secret operations, and I haven't even mentioned the current conflict. What do you think about Mossad's secret operations? Do you agree with them, or are you against them? Let me know in the comments below, and feel free to share your thoughts on the current conflict too. I'd also really appreciate it if you took a moment to check out my previous video. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.